It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Thursday Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 15th day of June. Another half a month is gone already. Man, it just seems to be flying by this year. All right, we got several news stories this morning, several announcements. We got a whole bunch of stuff to do here. The lead story this morning is Protest Delays MS Zuiderdam. Also today, lack of fresh water on the Carnival Elation. MSC expands its shore power plan. CSSC moves to Adora Cruises. Leno names the Carnival Venezia. Del Rio liquidates shares. And much more live here at 11 o'clock on Thursday Travel and Cruise Industry News. Today, folks, is World Tapas Day. I can deal with that. I love to, because when some of the cruise ships have tapas that they serve, like on the Joy, there was tapas in the Explorer Lounge. I tasted that several times. I can deal with that. All right. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News. All the big guys, they all have me. But you search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the old fat travel guy. There's always a link in the description of the podcast so you can access the video feed if you want to see what kind of pictures or clips or interviews I may be using on that day's show. All right, the first thing this morning has to do with the Cruise Amigos this afternoon. It will be at 12:30. Unfortunately, Amigo John was back in the hospital last night in the emergency room with a heart-related issue. They gave him another CT scan. He was there for quite a while, but finally they did send him home last night. He is at home, but when I chatted with him early this morning, he said there's just, he got nothing for today. I said, I understand. And of course, you know, I have no idea if Martin will show or not show. So I've taken it on myself to invite a guest in. Now, she's an extremely busy lady and is going to squeeze a few minutes in between two really important meetings. So I'll have her for a few minutes today, but we'll have a special guest on the Cruise Amigos. It's somebody y'all all know, and most of you like her as much as I do. All right. Are you still looking for a Father's Day present? Well, I got one that you might have not thought of. How about a cruise to Alaska? Now, we're calling this a solo cruise, but it's not, because we have both solo cabins and double occupancy cabins and rates as well. We have both. We do have some openings still on the Sapphire Princess. Prices for solos. Now, this is solo prices. Start at $628. And then per person, it's even cheaper for double occupancy. And you can go up there and maybe do a little whale watching with me. I'm going to be going on a whale ship. I'll be riding one of the trains up there as well. I don't know if I'll be flying up on the glaciers because my schedule is pretty busy, and I am going to spend a day with Michelle Phillips, who's an Iditarod musher up at her kennel playing with the puppies. But when I'm in June, I'll probably get back up on Mount Roberts because that's just such an unbelievable view from up there. And last year I was up there in the sleet and snow and cold. Of course, it's going to be cold in August 30th as well. But anyway, this thing sails on the 30th of August from Anchorage to Vancouver. Great Father's Day gift, either for your dad going solo or for a group going. Just call us. Let us know. We'll be happy to work something out. Okay. Let's see. Our friend Kevin is in Olden, Norway. I am so enjoying his pictures of Norway. They're so crisp and clear and yet simple in their beauty. I've never been to Norway, so I'm just absolutely fascinated with that. Now, Hot Air Tom is in Poland today. And I think he had some issues with translating his speech to the Wi-Fi in Poland, because this is the pictures I've gotten from Poland. You see, there's no pictures from Poland. So it must be Hot Air Tom doing something. Actually, I do know that Hot Air Tom's not feeling well. So I understand, Hot Air, that you're under the weather. So, but I still had to give you a little bit of a hard time. Okay, let's see. What else we got in here? Let's see. Oh, yeah, Michael and Donna, they're still in Hawaii. They went to Leota's Kitchen and Pie Shop. And let's see, Michael did say something about that. So let me jump back over here to see what Michael said. Life is simply better with pie, and Chef Ed Morita delivers both sweet and savory temptations at Leota's Kitchen and Pie Shop. You can pick up a burger or a salad, but you'll see how popular it is when it runs out of pies. And so, anyway, they were there. And that's a pretty good little a burger, I have to admit. And this, I wasn't sure what this was. And I'm looking at it. I'm noticing that looks like banana pudding up there in the upper left corner. But I wasn't entirely sure what this was. That's like a chicken pot pie. And that looks yummy to me. I'm surprised that they have that in Hawaii. But anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. And that's part of the family that's there. But look at the size of those burgers. Mercy. And of course, this is the bad news portion of this. Wow, those desserts certainly do look good. So, and then our buddy Katie is up there on Martha's Vineyard now for the summer. She was out for a walk yesterday on the vineyard. It ain't one of the pictures. It ain't the picture with the lighthouse off in the distance. So let me see if I can pick that up real quick. Downloads. And okay. That one got eaten by the Mochin. So now that I'm looking at it, that's not a light. I can't tell if that's a lighthouse or not. Anyway, that was the one the machine ate. So thank you guys for sending all those in. And we'll get on up here to the top story today has to do with the Zuiderdam. You know, the Zuiderdam, I don't often get to talk about the Zuiderdam, but that's one of my favorite all-time ships. I absolutely adored my trip on the Zuiderdam when I took it. But about 60 rebels from Extinction Rebellion and Scientist Rebellion blocked the departure of the Zuiderdam, which was docked at the cruise terminal in Rotterdam. It's actually the second time in 4 years that the group has disrupted the ship's operations. Activists from Extinction Rebellion and its affiliate group, Scientist Rebellion, gained access to the Zuiderdam's berth at the cruise terminal. They spent about 6 hours obstructing the mooring ballards by using homemade tripods and human blockades to prevent the removal of the mooring lines. The group's primary demand is a complete ban on cruise ships to Port Rotterdam in order to mitigate climate and health-related emissions. They argue that since there is currently no widely available zero CO2 fuel for shipping, ceasing cruise ship operation is the only practical option. Somebody needs to inform these guys about what's really going on in the cruise world and the steps that they're taking. I mean, I could understand this kind of protest even 5 years ago. I probably would have been right there with you. But anyway, you know, we just had a zero emission cruise. Zero. Now, yeah, the whole industry's not there, but we're getting there. So I take a little bit of issue with this protest that delayed the Zuiderdam. Of course, she finally got going, is on her cruise. But that's what happens sometimes. All right. I'll be back after this.
Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scootaround. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scootaround for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise.
That's Scootaround. You know, they're my favorite people in the world. Goodness gracious. I've been with them now going on 10 years. It's over 9 years now, going on 10 that I've been using their scooters, and I will continue to use their scooters. All right, maybe Nikki and Roger down there in Jacksonville got a little too thirsty and started drinking lots of water. But the Elation had a problem with water. What? Guests aboard the Carnival Elation have had an unexpected visit to Port Canaveral because the ship was unable to produce adequate fresh water. While the onboard engineering and maintenance team repaired the issue, it was necessary for the ship to call on Port Canaveral to take on more fresh water. Guests on board Carnival Elation were notified by the ship's master, Captain Vittorio Marchi, about the ship's freshwater production system. As a result, the ship's current 5-night itinerary was adjusted and the port time in Nassau was modified. All right. I'll be back with a couple more stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, the next story today, folks, has to deal with our friends over at MSC. MSC Group has unveiled what it said was the next phase of shore power plan for both MSC Cruises and Explorer Journeys. At least 15 new ports between 2024 and 2026 will be added to the existing use for its vessels to plug into shoreside electricity grids to further demonstrate its commitment to and continued progress towards decarbonization, as well as reducing emissions from its fleet of ships while berthed in ports. The new 24 to 26 shore power plan includes at least 5 Italian ports, Barcelona and Valencia in Spain, Stavanger and Norgerfjord in Norway, Miami in the U.S., Copenhagen in Denmark, Marseille in France, Rotterdam in the Netherlands, Valletta, Malta, and Stockholm, Sweden. The company intends for its ships, both MSC Cruises and Explorer Journeys, to fully utilize shore power facilities at all other ports where it operates throughout Europe and the rest of the world when they are made available. The MSC ships have since February 2023 successfully used shore power at ports in Southampton, UK, Kristiansand, Norway, and later this summer the company will test facilities at the Norwegian port of Haugesund. Other European trials this year are planned for a range of MSC cruise ships at Bergen and Ålesund in Norway and Warnemünde in Germany. MSC Cruises will also use shore power in the German ports of Hamburg this winter and Kiel in the summer of 2024. MSC Cruises last year signed a memorandum of understanding with Cruise Baltic for shore power in the Baltic Sea area. Cruise Baltic has 32 ports and destinations in the region that are committed to increase the number of shore power facilities. Shore power capability has been fitted on all MSC Cruises new ships as standard since 2017, and together with the retrofits completed on other vessels, 67% of the MSC Cruises total capacity is equipped with the technology. More ships will be retrofitted as the ports on their sailing itineraries make shore power available. All Explorer Journey ships will also feature shore power capabilities. So congratulations to MSC. They've been clearly one of the leaders in this whole realm of improvements. Maybe, just maybe, those protesters in Rotterdam need to look into something that's going in their direction. Okay. CSSC Carnival Cruise Shipping Limited announced today it's changed its name to Adora Cruises Limited, effective immediately. The new name, inspired by its brand Adora Cruises, will further strengthen the popularity and reputation among customers and reflects the vision of the company to bring a guest a voyage and love and to build a leading homegrown Chinese cruise line, according to a press release. Adora Cruise Limited also adopts the same logo as the brand Adora Cruises, using Chinese red, sunshine yellow, earth green, and star sea blue in the shape of an A and the ship bow to display the brand personality of happiness, care, vitality, and creativity. Its ambition is to bring guests a tasteful combination of traditional elegance and modern flair in an immersive, fun-filled experience at sea. Okay, it did it to me again. Why does my machine started eating things? It's one thing to eat one thing, but when it eats 2 or 3 things out of one show, of course, I'm still not sure why I have no audio yesterday. I never could figure that one out. All right, quickly back to New York. Late night talk show legend and comedian Jay Leno named Carnival Venezia in fun Italian-style festivities in New York. Leno's grandfather, who immigrated from Italy and was processed at New York's Ellis Island, would be stunned by the ship, the Godfather said. His own first impression, it's a big boat. I like that. 14 stories. I thought it would be about 5, Leno said. He was particularly impressed by the engine room. In Carnival Venezia's Teatro Rosso, Leno and Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy pulled a ribbon on a giant bottle of Aperol, sending sparks shooting into the air. With that, showgirls strutted onto the stage around them. But first, Carnival brand ambassador John Heald presented the comedian with a giant yellow bottle of J. Limoncello, a play on limoncello. Leno told the audience his grandfather used to carry a news clipping with a lawmaker complaining about the high rate of Italian immigration to the U.S. If they keep coming, in 50 years, we'll be eating pizza. Mission accomplished, Leno quipped. Duffy noted that today is Flag Day in the U.S., adding that when I joined Carnival, I decided we are America's cruise line. We honor our military, our first responders on every Carnival trip. One addition to Venezia is its transformation for Carnival is the Heroes Tribute Bar. Following all the festivities, Leno performed a comedy set on board after the christening dinner. So congratulations to Carnival, to Jay Leno, and to the Carnival Venezia. All right, the last story today I find a bit troubling, but maybe that's just me. Frank Del Rio, president and CEO of Norwegian Cruise Line, sold 300,000 shares for a total of $5.5 million. The shares were sold on the 12th in multiple transactions at prices ranging from $18.40 to $18.56, or a weighted average of $18.44. Del Rio still owns 926,000 shares of common stock and 27,000 shares indirectly through a family trust. On June 13th, Norwegian shares hit a 52-week high of 1959 before closing at 1947, up 5.76%. Del Rio is retiring from Norwegian effective June 30th. I hope nobody makes reference of sinking ships and whatever. But anyway, he sold a bunch of stock. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't think Junior can handle things as well as he did. He wants to get out. Again, just my opinion, folks. I'm just chatting about things. So, all right, that's it for the news portion of today. Don't forget the Cruise Amigos at 12:30. By the way, the community tab in my YouTube channel has the link to it. I will get some links out on the normal channels as soon as the show is over. Let's see who's with us. By the way, I did put the Sapphire Princess link if you would like to get some information on it. It's in the chat room. All right. Hot Air Tom is with us. I said he was coughing and not feeling good. So Hot Air Tom, you got to get better. You're on a cruise, dude. Joanne's with us. Hi, Joanne. Steve's here. Says good morning to everybody. There's Nikki here drinking all that water up there and down in Jacksonville, and the boat didn't have enough. Mike's with us. Gretchen's here. Hi, Gretchen. Says no fun being sick on a cruise. Take care of yourself. I agree. There's Elizabeth down in Cozumel. Buena Dias, Chile, and the gang. Oh, my God. My dad would kill me if I gave him a cruise to Alaska. Yeah, but some people like Alaska. I don't like cold weather, but I love Alaska. Rest up, Tom. You have been doing tourist things at full speed for a while now. Yes, he has. What scares me is when I started coughing like that, where it ended me up. Gretchen says, I'll be in Oslo in September. Fabulous. Hope they have a heat wave. No. I mean, if I was in Oslo, I wouldn't mind if it's cold. Although, their weather over there's not been that bad. But it's just so crystal clear. I mean, it's beautiful. My feet were very cold sleeping on the first cruise. Even brought a wool blanket and wool socks. Wow. One of the things that I found, folks, I may have mentioned this, and this has just been recently, let's say the last 4 or 5 cruises I've been on, I've been freezing to death. Now, I guess it probably is partially this chemo derivative medication that I'm on, but the cold just goes right through me anymore. So my cabin on the ship the heat's always turned up. And so I know when I'm with Tom, I'll probably not be able to do that. But anyway, it's been that way for 4 or 5 cruises now. And I'm equally as uncomfortable in the house. So a lot of the time in the house here, I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I don't wear it when I'm on the show unless it's really cold. But like at night, we go into the living room and play puzzles, do crossword puzzles, the 4 of us. And that's Amanda's part of the house. And she's at that age where she's burning up constantly. So she has the thermostat in that half of the house down. So I always got to wear a sweatshirt in there. So does my sister. This part of the house, I've got it a little higher, but then this part of the house also is the kitchen dining room where Amanda does a lot of work that affects her inner thermostat as well. So I can't, turn it completely off or up too far. But yeah, I've been getting cold on cruise ships. Now, thankfully, I haven't gotten sick other than, my one run with COVID. Are those chicken coops? I wasn't entirely sure on that, Gretchen. I started to say something about, Katie, I hope that's not where you're staying. And I thought, no, that wouldn't be a particularly nice thing to say, because I know Katie loves it up there. And I know she's staying in a lovely place. I'm not sure what those were. I couldn't tell if it was chickens. I'm thinking maybe they were like goat coops or something more of the 4-legged variety that's small. I'm not sure. I don't know if Katie's on there. What were those houses, Katie? She's got family up there, so she might not be with us today. Mike says, get well to hot air, Tom, too. Nikki says, we were just looking at the Elation's itineraries. They are right here, so why not? Yeah, I would, I've never sailed out of Jacksonville. I was on Elation, a long time ago. I was on Elation when it was, I can't even remember now when I was on it. But it's been a number of years ago. And it wasn't out of Jacksonville. It was before it went to any of there or Mobile. It was sailing down south. Might have been sailing out of Port Canaveral. But anyway, I was on it once a long time ago. Kenneth's with us. Dennis is here. Hi, Dennis. Emily is with us as well. Hi, Em. She leaves Tuesday for LAX, then off to the Philippines. They had a little volcanic action out there, Em. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a major eruption or anything, but you might actually see some active volcano stuff while you're there. Hot Air says, have a wonderful adventure. Hopefully Leno had a script, otherwise he's a twit. I'm sure he did. He uses prompters quite exclusively. Wonderful, M. Post as much as you can. Yeah, I agree, M. Very disappointed that Carnival didn't even change the Costa Cruises livery. Well, they did slightly. They put a gold trim on the stripe. They didn't do a whole lot of changing of its paint job. And to me, the funnel looks like Costa funnel. I know Dennis is going to fuss at me because I said Costa wrong. We are looking forward to those pictures, Em. Yeah, absolutely, Em. You better post lots of pictures. Have some chilled monkey brains from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Watch out for moving noodles. Yeah, I wonder, Emily's such a picky eater. She probably would pass on monkey brains. Hot Air Tom. So would I, as a matter of fact. Del Rio must have wanted to pay off his mortgage. Yeah, I guess. Why not wait a little while? Get away from the company before you do that. You're getting away from the company in 2 weeks anyway. And of course, the sun's taking over. I don't know. Don't forget to hit the like button, everyone. Oh, well, thank you, Elizabeth. Eli. I almost called you this morning, Elizabeth, to see if you wanted to do the Cruise Amigos today. But then Christy got back to me that she's going to at least give me a little bit of time. So I went on and grabbed Christy while I could. I foresee a day coming that we're going to be making a change with the Cruise Amigos. I would love to get somebody from the other side of the pond. Pete started this. I realize that, Pete and Allison, they're way too busy and do way too much traveling with Passion for Cruises over there. So does Lizzie. So I can't ask them, but I would love to have somebody from Europe to be the third Amigo. I'm assuming that John will get back to us. But Martin's missed 5 or 6 weeks in a row again. So I'm definitely looking, to upgrade the Amigo situation. I'd love to have some suggestions if you guys know anybody or somebody. We don't overly promote things, but you can promote some things on Cruise Amigos without it being too commercial. It's not there as a commercial endeavor. And yeah, I'll mention a hosted cruise or something, but I'm not going to sit there and try to sell it. So, everything within reason. We all go on cruises and we're all have something to do with the cruise industry. Everybody knows that. They just had a heat wave. It was 30 in the UK. I saw that, Dennis. Gretchen seconds that too, Nikki. Drink fluids and or tea, Hot Air. tea with Fireball in it. That's okay. I can deal with Fireball. By the way, folks, I'm sure some of you just were wondering about it, but I did participate in National Bourbon Day yesterday. I had several, as a matter of fact, to the point that when I go out today, I'm going to have to make a stop at the liquor store to establish my supplies. I did like National Bourbon Day. Dennis says, I enjoy cool weather. San Francisco weather during summer is fantastic. Yeah, no, I like San Francisco. I like San Francisco pretty much year round. But yeah, it's all, every time I've been there, it's been not necessarily cool, but breezy. I mean, even on hot days, it's such a comfortable breeze. That would really be slumming if you do Carnival after Viking. Yeah, but hotter times, some of us have to do slumming anyway, you know. I will be in LA momentarily. My flight is at 12:50 a.m. from LAX to Taiwan, then Taiwan to Clark Airport in the Philippines. Gretchen's husband says never Carnival. You know, of course, I've made it known that for years that's all I sailed, because as I came up in the industry, unless you were wealthy, you had Carnival and you had nothing else. I mean, they were clearly the first line to have affordable cruises for somebody that wasn't wealthy. So I sailed Carnival for years, 22, 23 times before I started expanding. And now I would never go back to sailing Carnival all the time, but because of my show and the Cruise Amigos and everything else, I will continue to sail Carnival, like I will continue to sail everybody, and the more the merrier. And I'd love for people to make me a deal to come study their accessibility. I'll be happy to do that on any kind of ship. That'd be great. Dennis says the ginger, turmeric, lemon, and raw honey tea helps too. I can attest to that. I have made that a couple times. I made it when I didn't make it. I had Amanda make it for me when I was so damn sick. Chillie's really quite daft. I agree. I've never met him. And I was never a big fan all the years he was on the night show, but I'd catch it occasionally. And of course, I've seen interviews with him every now and then. But yeah, I completely agree. Emily says she'll ask her uncle about volcanic activity. I saw the Carnival Venezia on the bow. I saw the Carnival Venezia on the bow. Yes, it is there. No monkey brains, Emily says. You got to try things, Em. You're going to a place that has more than just McDonald's, Hot Air says, call Emma and get her on the trio. I would love to have Emma. But she's way too busy and way too big probably to do that. And she cruises a lot too. Although I don't mind cruising a lot, but she's not as attuned to having Wi-Fi like I am on cruise ships. And it still causes problems. She was hanging with Tony on a tour bus in England. Yeah, I saw that. Tony, by the way, is on a plane flying back home now. He's due for a bit of time with Jenny now. He's been gone quite a bit. So Emily says, I mentioned your show today on on Yo-Yo Eddie in the House Lugo Studios. He mentioned other cruise channels as well. I woke up about the time, so I watched his show. Yeah, I've caught his show a couple times. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap me up. I've got to get things going for the cruise Amigos coming up at 12:30 my time. Please join me. If you need it, check the community tab on my YouTube channel for the link, and I'll try to get links out here very shortly. So I will see everybody at the Amigos at 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time, and if not, tomorrow on this channel, same place, same time for the same silliness. That's it for today, everybody. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.